Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing really well. Apologies that the lighting's a bit weird. I didn't want to bring my soft light into the lounge, so I've just got my main light on, but it's kind of above me, so when I go further back I feel like I've got lots of shadows on my face. Anyway, hello, welcome back to Vlogmas. For today's video I thought it might be quite fun to show you my board game collection. I'm also thinking of doing another video, if you're interested, where I ask my dad, stepmom, my brother and then myself our top 3 board games, and maybe I'll film it when I do some babysitting at dad's house and show you the games that we love, that are our favourite ones, because my board game collection is not very big at all in my opinion. I envy my dad, who has the whole of his understairs storage filled with games. He is such a big board game lover. I love a board game, but I just haven't had that many, but there are a lot that I love that I don't personally own. But I just thought that today I might go through all of my games with you. I've got a hot tea up here. This is called Cranberry and Vanilla Delight. So firstly, I've got this unit from IKEA, and I keep my board games in this cupboard here, and then also in this top drawer, my smaller kind of card games and stuff. However, I'm running out of space, so I've got another one of these cupboards down in this corner here, the bottom right corner, which is full of candles. I think I'm going to take them out and have it as board game storage, because I've got 2 newer games up here. So I might just start with my newer games and then just go through them all. There are quite a few from Big Potato Games, because they are a company that I love. And there are some YouTube videos of people playing their games with their friends, and it's just so funny. I love them. So this is my newest game. My dad bought this for me last weekend as just a little present. He'd already bought my birthday and Christmas presents. However, he said that buying me a game is almost like buying him a present as well, because we'll obviously play it together. This is called Mysterium. I had this spoken about on a podcast by the Ballinger family, and I think it's one of their daughter's favourite games. Basically, it's for age 10 plus, for 2 to 7 players, and apparently takes about 42 minutes on average. That's a really random number, isn't it? Essentially, one of you is a ghost and you've died, and the other people have to work out, I think, who killed you, where they killed you and what with. Something like that. So it's a bit like Cluedo. However, apparently it's a bit like Dixit as well, because the ghost has a certain amount of cards in their hand, and the ghost has to try and use a card to symbolise to the people working it out who killed them, what with and where. But the cards can be really random, and so they have to try and decipher, oh, do you think she put that one down because she meant this, or she was looking at that because she does love this, and that kind of thing. So quite an interesting game, I guess, to see whether you interpret cards the same way as the ghost does and whether you can work it out. So that's a new game which we'll probably play at some point whenever we can after Christmas. My mum does like a game, but she's not really that into them like my dad is. This game I bought in HomeSense a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago now actually. This is called Tension. I haven't played this properly, I've only played it over Zoom, but you have cards. This is for, you need 2 teams, okay? So you have cards. It's called the top 10 naming game. Basically, I could say to you, tell me some countries beginning with A. There's a list there of 10 countries that begin with A. So the other team or the other person would have to shout out loads of countries, and then you see whether they get all 10, how many out of 10 they get. So I feel like that's just quite a nice family game, and it only cost me £12.99. Mysterium was £36 from a board game shop. So let's go in here. So this is where I keep my bigger games. This one at the front here I love so much. This is so fun. It's called 20-Second Showdown. Essentially, you move the timer so that you've got 20 seconds on each side of the timer. One of you is the host, and there are 2 teams. This is great when you've got a really big family like I have, and there's 10 of you on a team. There are cards. So when we played it, I was the person who held the timer. I turn it round and read out to one team do this, say the alphabet backwards, they have to do it, well, the one person who is up has to do it really, really quickly, and when they've done it, and I think they've done it, I turn the timer over, so then it's the other team's turn, and I tell them what to do. They have a baton each that they pass, so whoever's holding the baton, it's their turn within their team. And it's really fun, so you want to get yours done as quickly as possible so that you leave the other team with less time and you've got more time, and then whoever is up when the timer finishes, they're the losing team. And it's so fun because people are like rushing to do things, but also the person who has the timer has the final say, like whether the other team thinks that that team didn't do it properly or they missed a letter or something like that. At the end of the day, the person with the timer flipped it, they flipped it. So if they agreed, then they agreed. So really, really, really fun game. Can get very loud and it's like, oh, okay, that kind of stuff. So I love that. That was by Big Potato Games. And another Big Potato Games game is Blockbuster. This went for like half price recently, and now it's back up to full price. They now have a newer version, which I think maybe has newer films in. This is just a game all about films, and it's really simple. You have a round where you do like a one-on-one with a buzzer, and so someone might say name films with a dog in, and that team goes, then that team goes, and that team goes, and that team goes, and that team goes. Whoever like runs out of time first, that you're the losing team. Whoever wins, you then have some cards with some different films on. One you have to say a quote from, but it can be a made up quote. Another one you have to act out silently, I think. And another one you have to describe the film. No, you have to act it out silently. Do say a quote from the film, but it can be a made up quote. So if it was Titanic, you could go, oh my goodness, I can't believe this ship is sinking. You know, oh, we've just hit an iceberg and stuff like that. And then there's one word, so you say one word. Yeah, so very good. I had Borat, and my one word from my brother was Kazakhstan, and he obviously got that. So yeah, I like that a lot. For Star Wars, you might say lightsaber. You get the idea. This game here is The Chameleon, again, is from Big Potato Games. This is hard to explain, so I'm not really going to explain it very well, but I love it. It's with 3 to 8 players, can take as quick as 15 minutes like per round. Essentially, I'm going to show you. Okay, essentially, you might have something like this in the middle of the table, TV shows, different TV shows, and you can see they are either going to be like A1, A2, A3, A4, B1, B2, B3, B4, that kind of thing. Loads of different TV shows. That stays in the middle of the table face up so everyone can see it. You then hand out some cards, and on the cards you might get this, which is a dice decipherer. I don't know if that's the right word. That tells you, oh wow, okay, we rolled a 2 on the yellow dice and a 4 on the blue dice. You need to look at square D2. D2 on here is EastEnders. No, it's not. It's Blackadder. I have no idea. I've never seen that. Not everyone gets one of these. One person, there won't be a clue, a decipherer here. It will just say, you are the chameleon. You have to go around and all say one word which is to do with that programme. So one word to do with Blackadder. I don't know what I would say because I've never seen it. If it was EastEnders, I might say soap because it's a soap opera. But you also want it to be vague enough because you don't want the chameleon to know what the TV show is. So actually there are no other soap operas in here, so I probably wouldn't say soap. I might say pub because in The Simpsons they go to the pub. Oh, Coronation Street's on there as well. Okay, so I might say soap. Okay? You all go around and say one word. Then you have a chat and you go, why did you say that word though, but without giving it away? And then you all vote on who you think the chameleon is. And then if you are the chameleon and you get found out, if you can guess which programme they were on about, then actually the chameleon wins and gets more points. So it's really fun, and it's hard to think of a word. For instance, one of the ones we had like music on, it had something else. It had other things on, maybe it's different subjects at school or something. Anyway, my brother said Ben. and I was the comedian, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what he means by Ben. He could mean Uncle Ben, like rice. He could mean Uncle Ben Spider-Man. So I was looking through what was on here, like what could Ben mean. Then I remembered that his favourite singer is called Ben Howard. So I was like, oh, so I thought maybe it's music. So then I said B. We all said other things, and then they said, why have you said B? And I said, because at an event of one of these, something bad happened, and bees are known for it. I was thinking of Manchester, Ariana Grande. My brother was confused. My stepmom knew what I was talking about. Does that make sense? So you say a word. So I was a comedian. They voted me the comedian because they didn't believe me. And then I guessed that it was music, and I got it right because my brother's was a bit too easy because he said Ben, and I knew his favourite singer was called Ben. So does that make sense? There are also different deciphering codes, just in case you play it a lot and you get used to knowing the grid. So yeah, I really, really, really like that game. Another game I love is called Linky. This is a really simple concept. I've taken this to a lot of games nights. It's a little bit battered now around the edges, but it seems to be like a family favourite, like within my wider family. Linky is really simple. There are like 4 questions on a card, and what you want to do is you want to know the answers to the questions, but you write them down, you don't shout them out. And what you're actually trying to do is think of the link between all the answers. Then you shout Linky, and then you say what you think the link is. If it's right, you keep the card. If it's wrong, you don't keep the card, and the other teams get to guess. Each card has a letter on the back. You want to collect all the letters to spell out Linky for your team. Once you've spelled out Linky, you win. The example on the back is, question 1 is, in which pub game are wooden balls bowled at wooden pins? The answer is Skittles. So you wouldn't shout that out loud, you'd be like, oh, I think it's Skittles. The next one is, the card game 21 is more commonly known as what in casinos? Blackjack. So you've got Skittles and Blackjack. The Linky is sweets. So there are more questions. If no one says Linky, there's then a clue, and then it tells you what the link is at the bottom. So, such a simple concept, but so good. This one I've only played once, and I actually found it really hard. But I also played it with like my younger sister who's 8. So this is called Shifty Eyed Spies. You basically set up, I think you've got like little characters, and you've also got places. Yeah, you've got places that you can go to, like, I don't know, let's pretend like the cafe, the library, and things like that. You have a spy mission where you need to pick up something from someone at a certain place, but you can't say anything, but you can move yourself. So what you have to do is get someone's attention and look at them, and then with your eyes or some gesture, like squint to where you want them to go. And then they'll understand you. However, you're on the lookout, so you can do like an alert meeting or something, and you can say, I saw Dad trying to signify to my brother to go to the library, so I'm going to intercept it, and that kind of stuff. So it's about being a spy. I'd like to play it maybe with some older people to see whether it goes better. I've got some like mini games. Articulate, I love. Articulate is just a describing game. It's really, really simple. There are different categories, and you try and describe it without saying the word. Really, really simple. I love Articulate. It's probably my favourite ever game. Rapido, I haven't actually played this yet, but I've always wanted to. You have some dough, you have some like Play-Doh, you have something that you have to try and build. If your team doesn't get it right, there's a little plunger, and they take away a little bit of your dough. Keeps going until you've probably got like the tiniest amount left, and maybe it keeps going until your dough runs out. I don't know, because I haven't played it yet, but I'm really excited to play that at some point. This game here is Obama Llama 2, which is different from Santa Banter. There's different ways for you to play this. Essentially, there are words on here that rhyme, like Donald Trump works down the dump, right? Now, there are different ways to play. You could describe it yourself, or you can read the description, which is Orange President has a job at a local refuse centre, and people have to try and work out Donald Trump what, and it rhymes, works at the dump, you know? And there's also one that you act out. So on the back of your card it might say The Little Mermaid and then you have to act out 3 scenarios that rhyme with the Little Mermaid. So the Little Mermaid is digging with a spade. The Little Mermaid is... that was a rubbish example, but you get what I mean. So this is good. The amount of times that when you're playing it, people guess random things and you're like, it has to rhyme. But this is a good game. I love this game so much. This is by Big Potato Games as well. This is Scrawl, but this is the 17+ one. They do one which is for younger children, and this is one that can get quite rude. I love it. So there are cards that tell you something to draw. Could be Darth Vader going shopping. It could be a stripper has lost her dog, or something random like that, right? You all have your own cards with the thing to draw, and you all draw it. Then you pass it on to the next person. They then write down what they think you've drawn, then you pass it to the next person. They then read what that person thought that you drew, and they try and draw it, what they've written. Then the next person guesses what was drawn, and it goes round. So you take it in turns. As you pass yours on, you then take the other person, so you're constantly doing something until it comes back round to you. Then you go through the journey of how what started off as Darth Vader and going shopping ended up being Father Christmas is riding a rocket, you know, and it's just funny, and sometimes they can get really rude as well. And it's just really good. What I will say is that some of the pens are rubbish in here, so I've actually asked for new pens for Christmas. Just some whiteboard pens. But yeah, so like the example on the back is this person drew, I don't know, someone, oh, it said beating up a jellyfish. So they drew someone beating up a jellyfish. This person guessed that they were drawing cuddling a ghost. So then they've drawn cuddling a ghost. Then they've guessed that that was undead doggy style. And then that person's drawn some skeletons doing it doggy. You know what I mean. So yeah, very good with the family. And this one is Articulate Your Life. It's the same as Articulate, but they're different categories and new words. And this one has a random buzzer instead of it just being a timer for the same amount of time. So you can get a short, medium and long time, basically. But yeah, I love Articulate. I'd love the big version of the normal one. So that's everything that's in the cupboard. Then I've got some little things in here. This is all that I have in the little drawer. So firstly, I've got 2 sets of playing cards. I don't know many games with playing cards, but I also keep like little notepad and pens in here, because if you want to keep score of things, and someone taught me how to play shithead, so I've got like the rules of the power cards on there. This is a little game that I got for Christmas one year called Name Them All. We've actually been through them all, if I'm honest. What are the 3 astrological fire signs of the zodiac? Then there's Name the 4 members of the band U2. Bono, The Edge, Adam Clayton, Larry Mullen Jr. What someone's name is The Edge? No idea. So just name them all that could be answered, if that makes sense. But I've been through it all. But yeah, that's a good like little game to play at Christmas or something. I've got a festive trivia quiz. I got this from, I don't know where, Primark, ASOS, somewhere like that. They are everywhere, to be fair. This has got loads of different cards in different like Christmassy shapes, and ask the question and has an answer. Let's ask you one. How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish? The answer is Feliz Navidad. You know, pine needles are edible and are a good source of vitamin C. True or false? The answer is true. So just like festive trivia, which is quite cool. There was one that I bought a few years ago. I mean, this is a couple of years old, but a few years ago, there was kind of like festive games. And that was quite good. I don't know what happened to that. I think I just lost it or left it at my dad's or something. But that was good. But this one is just all trivia. Then I've got Uno. We all know how to play Uno. It's just a simple card game. I like that. Do you remember, like, you used to have a machine that used to spin round and it would, like, splat out loads of cards? Do you remember that? Did anyone else have that? Double is a really good game, especially when there's loads of you. You can play it with just 2 of you. There are different ways to play it. Essentially, on each 2 cards, there is 1 symbol in common. So this one, they both have the moon on. And there are different things you can do, like you've all got a card and then you put it down and then you snap and then you take other people's cards, or you want to be the first one to get rid of all your cards, that kind of thing. But you have to shout out what's the thing in common, like the moon. What's in common between these two? Four-leaf clover and stuff like that. So yeah, that's like a nice like quick game. And then I've got a mini Cluedo, which I played with an ex-boyfriend of mine when we went on holiday. We bought some games, and this is just easy when you've only got 2 people, but with more than 2 people it's good. And there we go, they are all of the games that I have at the moment. I really don't feel like I've got many. There are some classics that I would love. I'd love to have the original Articulate in the big box. I'd love to have Cranium. I'd probably love to have Cluedo actually. I don't know what else, but there are some games that I really like. Rummy Cub, I'd like to have that. Just, yeah. But one day I will have so many games and people will think I'm sad, but I will just love it. Thank you everybody for watching this video. I now need to try and fit all my games back in here if I can, and maybe clear out my other cupboard as well to make more space for them. But let me know down below what your favourite board game is, because I would love to know. And do you have like your own little collection as well in your house? I'd love to know. But thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow in my next video. Bye.